first thing is trying to get as much, and I learned this from being basically a pinch hitter. I try to get as much information on all the pitchers on that team. I wanted to know, especially if I've never faced a guy. I know what I can physically do, but I'm obviously at a disadvantage if I've never faced a guy. Okay, he throws 93 miles an hour. Okay, that's great. Well, does his ball sink? Does it cut? Does he throw a slider or a curveball? Does he have a changeup? Will he drop down with 2 strikes? Does he like to pitch in? Is he an ego pitcher? An ego pitcher to me a lot of times were those closers, guys that are like, oh, you can't hit my fastball. Good. I like those kind of guys. I want guys that are going to try to throw balls by me, not trick me. So I try to get as much information on guys as I could, especially because, like I said, I might be a pinch hitter. I might get one at bat for 3 days, so I want to try to make my at bat be as important as possible. So I try to get as much information as I can beforehand about a guy, whether asking questions from teammates. If I could, obviously it's a little different now with all the scouting reports. And then if I couldn't, then I'd watch. I'd watch a guy when he came in to pitch. If he threw 8 pitches, I watched all 8. There was nothing more important to me as a hitter than watching the pitcher warm up. There was nothing that was happening on the bench or anything that took precedence. Unless a manager or coach said, hey, I need to talk to you about this. When a guy warmed up, I wanted to watch every pitch he threw because I wanted to have an idea of what he did. And that's probably the most you can do preparation wise, which is huge because then at least you have an idea. You can watch the guy and he'll do the glove for slider or do his hand for sinker. So now if I go to the plate, I already know when he throws his fastball, it's probably going to run in on me. So that means I have to make sure that I'm getting my barrel out front. Now, getting the barrel out front is the physical part, obviously, but I've already done it here. So I don't have to try to, oh my God, see it and then be quick. I already know here. So my thought already is from maybe a mental standpoint is just be quick to get your barrel there. So that's all I'd be thinking. Get a good ball to hit and just get your barrel out front. Those are things that help me from a mind or a thought process wise trying to hit at that level, especially the better pitchers. So I try to get as much information as I can, and then I'd have a plan. I'd have a plan. Billy Wagner I faced. First time I faced Billy Wagner, and he threw 97, and I hit a homer off him. Well, I came in, I still remember what happened. I came in the game late for a double switch, and which meant I was going to play defense that inning, and I was going to hit to lead the inning off. So I came in the third, so we made one out, and I peeked around in the bullpen, and I saw him warming up. So I'd already heard about him. So I kind of peeked, I saw he was throwing left-handed. So I knew I was leading in and off. So he went out and warmed up, and he was throwing. I could see how hard he was throwing. So I'm in the on-deck circle, and I had in my third-year pro ball and A-ball, I'd faced a guy named Alan Embry that was a left-handed pitcher through 95, 96. So the first at bat I faced Alan Embry, he was throwing hard. So in my mind, I told myself, to feel like you're shortening up a little, even though I'm not physically, but feel like you're shorter and just try to get the barrel. For me, I had different things. I tried to hit a ball inside. I really tried to keep my hands in here, so I take practice swings like that to keep my hands in here. So all I thought about was just pull your hands in and get the barrel out front. So first about I faced Alan Embry, threw me a 3-1 fastball in, it's probably inner half, and probably like thigh high, and I just cheated in, barrel, and homered off him. So this is 5 years later. I see this guy warming up. I remember that because I wrote it down. I remember what it was like, what I did that, got in the box, first pitch, saw homered, and I'm running around the bases, and I'm thinking, this damn. But I had visualized it. Yeah. I had a plan, all these things I had before I got in the box. I didn't just go up there and see it and go, oh, I got quick hands, let me get the head out. No, that's not how it works. You have to have these things set in place. I had a history because I'd already done it one time 5 years before off a hard throwing left-hander that in my mind looked similar. So those are things that I really used at especially at the major league level, to help me day to day of not being an everyday player and trying to get it done on that day. From game wise, it was more of an evaluation, a quick evaluation on what I did with that at bat. In terms of, if I went up there, there was 3 things that I needed to worry about for me, and that was I needed a plan or an approach every at bat.
Yep.
Plan could be something as simple as getting a baseball down the middle, and then I'd work off that. So it might be down the middle, might be off a little, but it's still in that area, not just see ball, hit ball. I didn't function that way. I had to have an idea what I wanted to do. So I had to have a plan or approach was my first thing. And the second thing I had to do, I had to have a pitch to hit. That was so important. I can't have a man on second, no outs, and take a fastball in on my chest and try to push it over there. I needed to get a pitch that I can do that job with.
Yeah.
And the last thing I ever worried about was something mechanically.